all the games happened on Friday night. The first game is the Miami Heat beating the Indiana Pacers 113-104. They got the win. Jimmy Butler was still out. Ben, we know he's going to be out for multiple weeks. Jimmy Butler's got a tailbone issue. It's tailbone issues. Same thing Karl Anthony Towns is going through. Those injuries are pretty tricky. It's you're going to experience pain through your body, and I don't know how fast the recovery time might be out for longer than we thought it would be. Not something that would just go away that very quick. Make folk recover very quickly. Duncan Robinson, I think he had like 0 points or 2 points, like something like that. The last game had 24 here, really, really good. He's very inconsistent up and down, but overall, he's making a lot of threes. PJ Tucker, 2 steals and 2 blocks. He looked pretty good, but I just think in fantasy, he's not really that impressive. Dwayne Dedman played just to 22 minutes because I don't know. They decided to go small with PJ at 5 for a stretch of time in 22 minutes. Grabbed 6 rebounds and still a must roster guy in the next 5-6 weeks. Tyler Hero, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Just the points and threes pretty consistent. Everything else is, a little bit rebounds as well, but everything else is not good. It's a guy that I really like to trade in category leagues, of course. Kyle Lowry, 26 points, 9 assists. A decent game, I would say, 6 threes. No defensive stats, but in the short term, Kyle Lowry is going to have a usage boost. And I'm looking to trade him for, some top 40 or younger top 50 players. The concern with him is he's going to miss some games because he's old. For the Pacers, Chris Duarte, I think we can pick him back up again. Because who is out? Sabonis. Why did he come off the bench? The thing was a little bit weird. But Duarte's minutes has been trending up. He could give you 13, 14 points and maybe a steal, some threes. If that's what you're looking for, should be good enough. Torrey Craig, I don't know why he's the second on the list. Let's ignore him. And Miles Turner had 3 blocks and 20 points. So very consistent getting the blocks. Everything else is up and down. But a good game here. Karis LeVert, his best game so far. Good efficiency everywhere. Free throw 10 for 11. I think that's probably the most impressive part. That I could see him score 27 points. But 10 for 11 from the free throw line is pretty impressive. 2 steals. He was close to droppable. So good to see him turn around. Malcolm Brogdon, 14 points, 7 assists. And again, no defensive stats. We shouldn't be surprised. And Sabonis, the past 2 games, grabbing 15 plus rebounds. That's great to see. 2 steals, but I don't know. The usage for him this year has not been great. Karis LeVert actually took the most shot, and Chris Duarte, he's kind of the guy that would just grab rebounds and doing tip-ins, maybe setting screens instead of getting into the offense. Only 3 assists here is also pretty low. So maybe Carlo is not using him like he was last year. The next game, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Wizards. I don't think we should be surprised. That surprised. Even the Wizards, standing-wise, still ahead of the Cavs. But their defense has been scary. The Cleveland Cavaliers defense. Lauri Markkanen, 15 points, 4 threes. A decent game. I think he needs to be rostered, but top 80, 90 guy. And the stats he giving mainly just the point threes and rebounds. But the playing time is very, very secure, looks like. Evan Mobley did not have the best game, but still blocked 3 shots. Man, he's blocking so many, like him and Jared Allen. Kind of the reverse. Jared Allen is not blocking that many shots this season. Evan Mobley is. 7 rebound, 4. Just great stuff, even though he didn't shoot the ball well. Jared Allen continues to be crazy good. Both of them, he struggled. Jared Allen actually the 10th ranked player, so for sure a sell high, but it'll be tough to see like who can really get back, right? For Jared Allen, I don't know. I don't think you can really get. Can you get a top 30, 40 player back? I don't know, because the category he's providing, even though he's been averaging 23 points, that's for sure not sustainable. 12.5 rebounds is also a bit high to me. 1.8 blocks is really great. But 74% from the field on 13 attempts. There's no way that's sustainable. Maybe they just play some bad teams. Interior defense Could be a bunch of things. In fantasy, it's not usually one thing. Could be multiple things that's contributing to him overperforming in the last two weeks. So a sell high. Any top 30. Otherwise, just hold. Enjoy the ride. Isaac Okoro played 30 minutes, but he doesn't do anything. And Darius Garland went off. 32 and 10, 8 rebounds. 8 rebounds for little guard. Probably I want to say a sell high. If you can get a top 30 guy back, I would. But again, he's a guard, so the category he's contributing is kind of interesting. He gets a lot of assists, a lot of threes points, but doesn't really give you, his field goal is bad, doesn't grab any rebounds or blocks, and he turns the ball over a lot as well. So, if he doesn't fit your team, right? For example, if you don't want the assist, he's actually just the 77th ranked player, but averaging 22.5 points and 9 assists. Why? Because he's turning the ball over 4.2 times a game. That's way too much. Because he's shooting the ball a lot. He has the ball in his hands a lot. Ricky Rubio, it's a couple games, underwhelming games in a row now. I think we still want to hold him. Still had 6 assists, but no defensive stats, and shot the ball pretty poorly. I mean, Ricky Rubio does this when he was on the Timberwolves. He does this every single year. So let's just hold, and if anything, buy low. If he gets dropped, I'll use my number one waiver. I think it could be, especially if you love those assists. If you don't love the assists, I would try to sell him. Top 60, 70, I think. For the Washington Wizards, they got blown out, kind of. So the minutes are pretty low across the board. KCP, we could stream him. Kyle Kuzma, I think we still want to hold. Daniel Gafford's been playing really well lately. Still in a block, 6 rebounds in 23 minutes of action. And Bradley Beal, man. Beal has been really bad. All season, I would say. My God. In the last 2 weeks, guess what? Guess where his rank is? 181st ranked player. So now, who knows? He might just be a top 25 player. So try to throw a top 35, top 40. I still think he's going to turn things around. But there's a chance he just might be top 30 or top 35. I mean, all those are possible. Averaging just 23 points. And everything else, maybe 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But low efficiency, not a lot of defensive stats. That's maybe top 40, top 50 even. So it's been really bad. Try to see if you can buy low using a top 50 or 60 player, or do a 2-for-1. Try to get Beal. I still think he's going to turn around. This game, again, really bad. Had 1 block, but 2-for-4 from the free throw line. The free throw line efficiency has always been poor. And actually 70% in the last 2 weeks. And he hasn't really been making any threes either. So across the board, I think the stats can only go up. Montrezl Harrell, also, he was a big sell high. Now the window is closed. Let's look at the next game. The Philadelphia Sixers barely beat the Atlanta Hawks by 2 points. Interestingly, Danny Green had 5 fouls, but still played 34 minutes. The report saying that it's going to take him a couple weeks for him to play 30 minutes. But now, I think it's the fourth game in, he already played. So I think we could pick him up for defensive purposes and some threes. Georges Niang started in place of, and also Tobias Harris was out, so maybe they need Danny Green to play a little bit more. Georges Niang is a good streaming option for points and threes. That's about it. He doesn't really do anything else. He had 2 steals here. Joel Embiid continues to struggle from the field, 43%. And I guess Capella, I don't think Capella could stop him. I guess nobody could unless you're Marc Gasol. I mean, I don't know how many centers can really, 12 rebounds is good for, all the counting stats look really good. Free throw good. 1-3, 28 points. It's just the field goal. Probably not a buy low, if you're playing like this. Seth Curry, great game. Try to sell him high for any top, do a 2-for-1 for a top 50, 60. Tyrese Maxey, a good line, I would say. 5 assists are still on a block. But most nights, I think it's going to be 13 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds with 0.8 steals or something like that. He's not a big defensive guy. So he gets 1 steal, 1 block. I think it's good enough. But I think his sell high window is closed. Pretty sure. And Furkan Korkmaz could be a drop now. Same thing with Andre Drummond. For the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins are still in 2 blocks. Decent enough for 6. Not much to be talked about. And against Joel Embiid, Clint Capella struggled. No defensive stats, 11 rebounds. He was a super sell high last week, right? He had one game had like five steals and 3 blocks or something like that. He was a huge sell high last week, grabbing like 15 plus rebound. Now, play some good teams, good big man. He's regressing. So 2 for 5 on the free throw, also not great. Kevin Huerter could be rostered, 12 points, but not sexy. The minutes is there, everything is there, but he's not. He hasn't been getting a lot of defensive stats and just not sexy. The stats is like 12, 13 points and 2 threes. You're way better off streaming that spot. But he did, to be fair, he did play well the game before that. The game before this, Trae Young, 36 minutes, 25 and 10, another Trae Young game. Man, Danilo Gallinari, with all the wings guy out, I think we could stream him at least. Another decent game, 18 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, that's what you would expect. 6 for 6 from the free throw line is also really good, and 2 threes. And Delon Wright, look at that. In 29 minutes, why is Delon Wright getting a lot of minutes? That's interesting. Hey, it's just one game, but I want to monitor his minutes. DeAndre Hunter is going to be out. Cam Reddish is going to be out. While those guys were out, and if Delon Wright continues to get 25 plus minutes, I could stream him for some points, assist. Sorry, not a lot of points. Rebound, assist, steals, and blocks, and he's very efficient, from the field as well. Doesn't really take any bad shots. Let's look at the next game. The Timberwolves losing to the Brooklyn Nets, and the game was without Cat. So the fact that Nets only won by 5, we'll talk about them later. But Timberwolves side, Naz Reid is a must roster as long as Cat is out. Naz Reid is a permanent monster, can block shots, score a bunch, grab rebounds. So let's continue streaming him if Cat continues to be out. And Vanderbilt at this point is a must roster. Maybe a sell high, because the thing with him is once Patrick Beverley comes back, they're gonna change the lineup, like move Anthony Edwards to the small forward. So, maybe Vanderbilt lose a little bit. And also, what's his name? Jaden. What's his name is also out. Not Jaden. The backup power forward is also out. So he's getting consistent 30 minutes, grabbing a lot of rebounds. But I think it will be a good sell high. In the last 2 weeks, let's see where he is at. He is the 42nd ranked player, so I think it's a good time to sell him. Try to do 2 for 1 to get Bradley Beal, do those type of trades. I understand if give the man 29 to 30 minutes, he's going to put up top 50, 60 values. But the minutes is too consistent, right? And they got a lot of injuries going on. Once Patrick Beverley comes back again, going to mess around. And Cat was also out this game. Anthony Edwards, with everybody out, took just 16 shots, struggled. I mean, he was sick, played through it. So I don't know that would, maybe he would have went off. I don't know, 3 steals, still decent. The counting stat look very good, but 8 turnovers hurts you a lot. And D'Lo took 22 shots, man. Counting stat always look good, and 6 for 6 from the free throw is very impressive as well. I want to sell D'Lo, but the ranking is too bad for him because the inefficiencies and high turnovers. Malik Beasley also took 19, so Anthony Edwards really didn't take that many shots this game. It was kind of took a backseat to a lot of these guys. And they collectively shot 39%. And for the Nets, Harden 4 for 11, but went to the free throw line 15 times. Harden, I think versus the Knicks, he went off 35 points. He's just not, how should I say this? He's trying to be the point guard, right? Not really looking for his shots a lot of the times. But I think it would be better, Nets, it would be better if Harden just be aggressive and generate those opportunities for your teammates organically. Like if you're aggressive looking for your shot, driving in, you can get wide open teammates instead of just dribbling up the court very slowly, and KD runs through a bunch of screens and just pass it to KD, right? I feel like they need to change things up a little bit. They haven't really beaten any good teams, and if Harden is playing like this, they're not going to beat any teams in the playoffs. Because everything's going to go through KD, and KD's going to run out of gas very, very soon, right? He's basically I don't want to say Draymond Green, because Draymond get every 7-8 points. Harden has the ability to score and get to the free throw line. But he's playing a lot of Draymond Green at the moment, and I don't really like it. But in fantasy, It's a trade-off between points, threes for assists, so it depends on what you want. He's still very solid, providing nice stats across the board. And went to the free throw line 15 times. Patty Mills, point threes, he did exactly that, and decent. But Eldridge is a must roster. The minutes has been up 30 plus minutes every single game. I just don't know. Blake Griffin was starting. Is Blake Griffin ever gonna get back to the starting lineup? Not starting lineup. Is he ever gonna get minutes? I don't know. In the short term, he's a must. I mean, I probably want to sell him because I don't think he can play 30 minutes for the rest of the season every single game, right? I don't know, but he could be. DeAndre Bembry also, we could stream him. Like Bruce Brown came back, and Bruce Brown is just not getting any minutes now. Bembry is getting the minutes, and I think he has decent upside. We could definitely stream him. And KD, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and again, no defensive stats. But can you complain? He's a top 5 player in fantasy. Let's go to the next game. The Rockets on the road, man. Crazy. 118, 116, beat the Magic, but they beat OKC twice, beat Magic. They haven't really played any good teams, but still impressive. They were able to run on and win like 4 or 5 straight. Franz Wagner, another good game. I think he's a sell high. I think a lot of guys were out. Jalen Suggs is gonna be back. Markelle Fultz. I mean, it's just a lot of guys gonna be back. I think his playing time. This team is secure, but I don't know. He could be like he had like another great game earlier this week. So I look to do a 2-for-1, try to see if I can get top 50, 60, right? Wendell Carter Jr. 16 rebounds, huge rebound this game, and 2 blocks. So that's good. And Mo Bamba continues to play super well. 2 steals, 3 blocks, 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. I mean, what a beast. If he can average 2 blocks, I think he could be a top 30, 40 player. He doesn't have to score a lot of points to do that, He's not going to turn the ball over a lot. He gets rebounds and steals, and he can hit threes. He can pretty much do everything. So good game from him. Probably a sell high in my opinion. If trying to get if you can get equal value back, I would top 20, 30. You can trade him for like a Bradley Beal, but they're obviously very different. Bradley Beal can't even sniff his block numbers, but everything else probably Bradley Beal. Most categories does it better. Garrett Harris continues to get the minutes, continues to get nothing, and Cole Anthony 20, decent game, but 5 turnovers and no defensive stats. And if you look at the Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr. played the first half and did not return. I think he's gonna miss some games. I don't know why he wanted to rush back and play. Should just sit out a few games and then come back and play. So I think he's gonna miss Sunday's game. But a couple guys we could for sure stream. Garrison Matthews, he's been playing really well, especially if you need points and threes. He can give you that. He took 10 threes this game. Christian Wood, wow, like he was in a walking boot on Tuesday or on Wednesday, and then he played on Friday. Crazy. Put up a good line, 20 points, 14 rebounds, and steal and block. I think not playing him and Thies together really unlocking Christian Wood at the moment. Really, really unlocked him. Jason Tate, another great game following the craziness on Wednesday. 15 points, 2 steals and a block, 7 assists, 7. I mean, collectively, a lot of young guys like on the Rockets, they're all playing a lot better without Jalen Green and Daniel Theis. I mean, I don't know what's going on or what happened really. All of a sudden, they're just still winning. They're looking good, in the process as well. Eric Gordon went off 24 points. We could stream him for some points and threes. That's about it. And Şengün had 18 minutes. This is what he can do, man. Give him 18 minutes, 6 for 7 from the free throw. He's not a great free throw shooter, but 1 block, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's a really good assist guy. But we just don't know if he's ever going to get 25 minutes a night. Some nights just 12 minutes, if Christian Wood is going off, something like that. It's frustrating, but if you're in the first place, you want to hold Şengün, like, he's one of those few guys, has a chance to play 25 minutes, and we know give him 25 minutes, he'll produce. So, yeah. The next game, the Pelicans destroyed the Mavericks. I believe the Mavericks destroyed them a couple days ago, so good revenge. Herbert Jones is a must roster, guys. He is a must roster. In the short term, I don't care. In the short term, must roster. You could try to sell him if you can, because Zion's going to be back, and for sure it's going to impact Herbert Jones. But he's doing a lot of stuff. Hit 2 threes, 13 points, and still in a block, 4 assists. Very, very solid defensive guy. Brandon Ingram had 2 steals. What a surprise. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists in an okay game. Giannis Valanciunas had 14 points, a steal, 11 points, 4 for 7 from the free throw line. He was in foul trouble, had 5 fouls. He should bounce back from this. But that 37-point game was crazy. So you can, if you got him, you can't complain too much. And Devontae Graham had 13 points and 3 rebounds and 3 threes, and surprisingly no assist. Nikhil Alexander Walker coming off the bench now. His role on this team is getting 27, 28 minutes. I think he's really close to a drop. I still think he's gonna turn around. I think if he brought in like 2 steals, this line wouldn't look that bad, but he didn't. But we know steals, it's all luck and stuff. I think on average he's gonna average 1.2, 1.3 steals and 0.5, 0.6 blocks. So I think because of that, I still want to hold him. I don't want to drop him. And if you drop him, make sure what are you getting back from the waiver wire? Like if your league is not competitive, you got a lot of good guys on the waiver wire. Like if you got Herbert Jones on the waiver wire flowing around, a lot of them, then you can drop Nikhil Alexander Walker. But if your league everybody knows what they're doing and there's no good players left there, you hold him for sure. For the Dallas Mavericks, Dorian Finney-Smith had a steal and a block, 8 points, did what he needs to do. And Maxi Kleber got 30 minutes because Porzingis was out. Played decent, no blocks, but 4 threes. He took 8 shots, all 8 of them are threes. So he's gonna make some threes, playing 30 minutes and block some shots. That's good. That's mini Brook Lopez. Reggie Bullock, 27 minutes, is completely useless in fantasy. And Luka, 21, 10, and 7 did not have the best game. And not from the free throw line, turned the ball over a lot, and bad efficiency. So Luka has not been good this year. Another guy. He played in the Olympics, so I don't know if because he had no time off, but it's rough, the stats. Jalen Brunson, great game. 16 points. He's also a must roster, The assists he gave is very hard to find on the waiver wire. He can throw in some threes, some steals, some rebounds, a little bit of everything. But most importantly, the steals. Let's move on to the next game, the Celtics. This game, wow, the Jazz scored. This game didn't go to overtime, and the Jazz scored 137 points. And Celtics there's no defense, absolutely no defense this game. Jason Tatum, 31. But struggle from the 3-point line. Tatum, let's see how he's doing. 48th ranked in the last 2 weeks. But, decent. He's playing better and better. He's still going to have games where he just destroy a field goal. But the counting set pretty solid. 11 for 11 from the free throw line is also huge. Al Horford, wow. Unbelievable. 9 assists, 6 rebounds, a steal and block. I mean, he's going to have games where he sucks. But I believe last game he blocked 5 shots or something ridiculous. His block number has been down after this game in the last 2 weeks, 47th ranked. I think probably we could expect him to be top 50. But you can't just see, he won't hurt you anywhere. But if you're punting a few categories, maybe you could try to unload him to get some. If you're punting something else, because he really doesn't hurt you anywhere. Robert Williams played just the 15 minutes. Because, matchup wise, maybe he was just struggling versus some of the guards. Because Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley were both going off. 8 points, 5 rebounds. Not the best game, probably a buy low. He has not had a good season so far, missed a bunch of games. And out of all the games he played, most of them he didn't really contribute that much. But he should be a monster. Marcus Smart had 4 steals, great. 15 points, 3 threes. Good enough. And Dennis Schroeder got the start because Jaylen Brown was out. Just trying to sell him, But that's the thing, Jaylen Brown with hamstring issues, man, who knows? He's young, so I'm gonna give him some, benefit of the doubt that he's gonna recover. But hamstring issues are always tough. Grant Williams, 27 minutes, 6 rebounds, 6 points, nothing else. We think we could drop him. Now that Al Horford and Robert Williams are both back. And Josh Richardson, 11 and 2 steals. If they got a back-to-back and Jaylen Brown is out, I look at Josh Richardson and I say, okay, maybe I'll stream him. For the Jazz, Bogdanovich, 16 points and a steal. Just Bogdanovich, 4 threes, Bogdanovich numbers. Royce O'Neal came back from his ankle thing. Played really well, actually. great efficiency every year, did not miss a shot or free throw, 12 points, 10 rebounds, and this year he's been getting a lot of defensive stats. This game, Jazz only got 3 steals because Celtics they didn't really they only turned the ball over 6 times. So, but Jazz, the system has been generating a lot of steals this year. But because both teams were going offensively, nobody really focused on getting the defense. So, like if I'm counting points, I would roster Royce O'Neal. He's one of those guys that I love to have on my team if I'm counting points. Rudy Gobert, 18 points, 12 rebounds, a steal and a block, decent enough. And Donovan Mitchell took 22 shots, 34 points, just the 1 rebound, but 6 threes, 6 assists is good. And Mike Conley is a really good sell high after. Try to get top 40, 50 player. Mike Conley for the season probably around that 50, 55 area. I'm just not too high on him too. Older guys, we're not gonna miss a bunch of games like Kemba Walker. Like, if you can Kemba is a bad example because he wasn't getting minutes, but it should be the same strategy with Kemba if he was putting up like top 50 value, but he wasn't. He obviously sucks. I don't know if something is bothering Kemba, but yeah, he has not had a good year, and obviously the minutes. Tim Thibodeau just doesn't think he would be a good fit, and New York got a lot of guards, but that's off topic. Joe Ingles, only when Mike Conley misses games, we want to stream Joe Ingles. And Jordan Clarkson is the 11 points and a steal and 3 threes. I mean, he could be a points and 3 streamer. That's it, And Rudy Gay, after that first game, he hasn't really had a decent game. Let's talk about the next game. The final, the streak is over. I believe they won 18 straight or something, but Devin Booker was out due to a hamstring. So you can't really blame the Suns losing this one. Mikhail Bridges actually left the game, dislocated his pinky finger or something like that, but he popped it back in, went back out there, but it impacted his performance, obviously, just the 7 points and nothing else. Jay Crowder had 11 points and 3 steals. Again, some points, some threes, some steals, some rebounds, very low field goal, but Jay Crowder, I think we could roster him, or like if you're pounding field goal, I think you could make an argument that you want to roster him or stream. Because the minutes is there, like 30 minutes of the night. DeAndre Ayton, 23 points and 2 blocks. Ayton has been averaging like 0.7 blocks on the season. That's way too low. Way too low. I don't know what's up with this guy, man. Just not blocking shots. But 23 points here is good. Probably a hold. You don't want to sell him because he's underperforming. Chris Paul, you could go buy low. Throw him a top 40, 50 guy. And obviously, you want him to fit your team, right? Like, if you love the field goal and the rebounds, really those are the only 2 things he's providing. Everything else, like usually big man also provides good blocks, but he hasn't been doing that. Chris Paul did not have the best game, but still had 8 assists and a steal. Given his standard, like everybody else, 8 assists is great, but because he's averaging over 10 assists a game. And as a result, Cameron Payne got a lot of minutes. Played alongside Chris Paul for a while, but played horrible, 3 for 17. Not the best game from the Phoenix Suns. Everybody, and on the Warriors, everybody seemingly played decent. Andrew Wiggins, 19 points, 5 rebounds and 3 threes. And Draymond, man, when Draymond decides to try hard, this is what happens. I think we're going to have Draymond Green, because the Warriors are cruising through. But I think whenever Warriors play some marquee matchups, like the Phoenix Suns, like the Clippers, like the Lakers, those top teams, Draymond would try harder, would take it to another level. This is just one game, one data point, but 6 steals and 3 blocks. I don't think it's because he always plays the same, and this game he just got lucky at 6 steals and 3 blocks, because collectively they only got 9 steals as a team, and they only turned the ball over 13 times. So it wasn't like Phoenix Suns, like Harden himself, turned the ball over 8-9 times. So a lot of the defensive turnovers was generated by Draymond. So 3 blocks also very good. Good game from Draymond. And Jordan Poole did not have the best game. 14 points, 5 assists and a steal. And we'll see. Try to sell him high, and if not, just see what happens when Klay comes back. I think he's gonna get impacted a little bit, but maybe like 1 or 2 shots a game. But I don't think the drop would be that crazy. So when you try to sell high, don't try to sell him too short. I think. Like if he can average 1.2, 1.3 steals, he could stay that one top 70, 60 area. Steph Curry did not have the best game actually. 23 points, 5 assists, but he still hit 6 threes. And Otto Porter Jr. had a decent game, a few games, but this game not so much because Juan Toscano Anderson completely went off. But he's very inconsistent. I think we all know that. And Gary Payton Jr. is still in the block, 19 points. He's got some bounce and super high energy. Given 26 minutes here, so that's great. But offensively, I would say he's pretty challenged offensively. And let's talk about last game of the night. This one was ugly for the Lakers. But what else is new, right? I mean, every game that Lakers played, good or bad teams, is always close. And LeBron has to give 100%. The Lakers ever had a blowout win this year? Out of their 10 wins? I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 games. Most games are just super close. For the LA Clippers, great. Marcus Morris, 21 points. Nothing else, 6 threes. I think he could be picked up. Give you a good source of threes and points if you want that. I would expect him to get 30 plus minutes. And a little bit like defensive stats. Serge Ibaka, 29 minutes, but I don't think we want to have him. People love Ibaka because a couple years ago, he led the league in blocks. People think, oh, okay. I don't know that's why everybody thinks. But, if you played for a long time, Ibaka used, 1 year. I mean, he used to be a huge blocks guy. But he no longer is, and he doesn't get that many minutes once everybody comes back. Zubac, that's the problem with him, that he doesn't finish a lot of games. But in 22 minutes, this is good stuff. 5 rebounds, 12 points, and still in the block. Paul George struggled shooting the ball. They still got the win. He's been struggling for the last 2 weeks or so. Slowly falling out of top 5, I would say. On the season, he is, he's already 11th. This is probably where he should be. Reggie Jackson, 16 points, still in the block, 8 assists. Decent game from Reggie, but we know he's going to be inefficient. But the fact that he got a steal in the block is, deserves some celebration. And Eric Bledsoe, wow. I want to see, just give me one more game. Because this game, Paul George is the shooting guard, and Marcus Morris did not play the power forward. So they kind of went big this game. But if you want to drop Eric Bledsoe, I can't really blame you. But the next game, he could very well play 30 minutes. It's like Tyler already sees Eric Bledsoe as not a must start and give 30-minute guy, because they got a lot of guys that can play. Like Terrence Mann, if he plays well that night, he'll be given 30 minutes. Luke Kennard, if he plays well, he did play well this game, right? And then you have Marcus Morris. You have a lot of wing players. Nicholas Batum is still out, so yeah, Bledsoe. If you want to move on, I don't think I have a problem. And for the Lakers, LeBron had very interesting. He had a false positive COVID test. So the first one was positive, and then everything else is negative. So he cleared to play. Had a decent game, but man, LeBron, I think I want to sell high on LeBron again. I know he missed a bunch. Like last game he missed was just bullshit because it was a bad test. But I just don't know if he can play 36 minutes a game. It's a long season. Can he do that? I don't know. I have my doubts. That being said, I think per game basis he could be top 20, but depending on how many games he plays, and there's no way he's going to be a top 10 player per game basis. Rest of the season, I don't think. But the steals has been very nice lately, 2 threes. But efficiency wise, not so good this game, and bad from the free throw line. AD, the free throw is just bad. If we have AD next year, you don't necessarily have to pound free throws, but just to know for sure that he's not a great free throw shooter anymore. 27 and 10. Conley said looked pretty good, and good field goal as well. Dwight Howard makes it interesting. I think we could stream him for a lot of the nights. He only got 20 minutes, but still in the block. In just 22, 25 minutes, Dwight Howard give you good enough rebounds and blocks, I believe. So if you want those, sure. Tony Horton-Tucker is not a must roster. He was the biggest sell high after 3 games. Just very average numbers, but a block here is decent. 8 points, 5 rebounds. Malik Monk, Russell Westbrook with the full squad, right? Just to 10 points. Still got 9 assists, which is impressive considering LeBron play. but 2 rebounds and a steal. He's a big, very, very big sell high before LeBron comes back. Still trying to sell him, but again, it's hard to sell guys like Russell Westbrook. Maybe only 1 or 2 teams in the league could actually use Russell Westbrook correctly based on their team build. Try to find those teams and see if you can get a top 30 guy back. Otherwise, just hold, because the county stats still good. Malik Monk, I think we could pick him up. He's kind of taking minutes away from Carmelo. Carmelo, last 2 games he played just 20. This game, 13 points. And wow, Malik Monk had 20 points and 2 steals and 2 assists. I think we could look at to see if we can stream Malik Monk the next few games and see where things go. That's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.